Hello, I'm Kyle Bradshaw from Chaparral Motorsports, and welcome to part 3 of our 25-inch ATV tire test. Today we're going to be showing you which tires perform best in certain applications. If you run in mud all the time, we're going to show you the top tires for running in mud. If you climb steep hills, we're going to show you the best tires for climbing steep hills. So come on in and take a look. To catch everybody up and get everybody on the same page, if you haven't seen our previous 2 episodes, episode 1 of the tire test was breaking down the 5 different tests that we put these tires through. In episode 2, we showed you the top 8 best performing tires. These are tires that you would choose to put on your UTV or ATV if you're looking for a great all-around tire. And in this episode, if you have a task that you do on a daily basis, today we're going to show you which tires are best suited for your vehicle and that particular task. Real quick before we jump in, I should tell you how we scored these tires. The best performing tire in each event we scored at number 1. The worst performing tire we scored at 21, and all the other tires kind of filtered in between. The number 1 performing tire ended up with 25 points at the end of the day, and the worst performing tire ended up with 85 points at the end of the day. Now that we've got the scoring under control, let's show you the top performing tires in each of the categories. Spoiler alert, some of the tires you're going to see in these tests performing at the top of each of these tests are not going to be some of the tires that you saw as the 8 best performing tires. That's the really cool part about this whole test that we did. We were able to see which tires were best for specific situations and which tires were best for general use. The first test that we're going to talk about today is the sled pull. If the job that you put your vehicle up to is pulling or hauling items, this is going to be a great test for you to take a look at. The least performing tire in this test only pulled 14 feet and only traveled for 8 seconds before it completely ran out of steam. The top 5 tires in the sled pull pulled anywhere from 67 feet on the low end to 95 feet on the high end. Let's take a look. So just what did this test consist of? Well, we built a weight sled. This weight sled has an overall weight of just over 3,500 pounds and a front skid starting weight of 380 pounds. We hit the throttle, flipped the switch, and as the vehicle moved forward, the weight increased. Out of the 21 tires that we tested, only 9 of them actually made a full run, and today we're going to tell you the top 5, those who made it past 65 feet in distance. Now, our number 1 performing tire went 95 feet and completely blew the competition out of the water. Take a look. The ITP Mud Light 2 traveled for 13.1 seconds and it covered 67 feet of ground. The Kenda 299 Bear Claw traveled for 18.3 seconds and covered only 71 feet of ground. The Ams Slingshot Xt, which was our number 1 best performing tire, traveled for 13.8 seconds, covering 72 feet. The Kenda Mastodon AT traveled for 14.8 seconds and covered 88 feet. The Ocelot Autocoma tire was our number 1 best performing sled pull tire. It pulled the sled for 15.8 seconds and a distance of 95 feet. Absolutely phenomenal. Out of these top 5, only 2 of them made the top 8 best performing tires. And that was the one thing that we found really interesting. Some tires did really well at some things and not at others. Now, moving on to the hill climb. If your passion is climbing the biggest, gnarliest, baddest hill, this is the challenge you're going to want to pay attention to. Now for this test, we found a really steep hill, about 60 degrees. Had kind of a clay base on it and some soft, silty stuff on top. Some of the tires would just charge right up the hill. In this particular challenge, 17 of them made it to the summit. Only 10 of them performed in less than 15 seconds. All 5 of these tires made it to the summit in 13-point-something seconds. This here is the ITP Terracross. It actually reached the summit, but it took 18.6 seconds. That's a full 5 seconds longer than any of the ones we're going to show you right now. Now, let's show you how the top 5 tires fared in this showdown. The 5th place tire was the Ams Slingshot, which took the summit at 13.79 seconds. Fourth place for this challenge was the Ams Swamp Fox, which summited in 13.7 seconds. Third place was the Quad Boss QBT 447, which took the summit at 13.67 seconds. A second Quad Boss tire took second place. That's going to be the Quad Boss QBT 671, which did it in 13.61 seconds. And then the first place tire for a hill climb challenge was the Tire Guider Q373. This tire summited in just 13.45 seconds. Only 2 of these tires made the top 8 performing tires. Now, moving on to the downhill braking challenge. Interestingly enough, the ATV Tire Cross that didn't do so well last time, didn't do so well here either. It was actually the worst performing tire with a slide time of 3.34 seconds. Now the top 5 tires that did perform extremely well in this challenge performed at 2.1 seconds and the least performing at 2.5 seconds. It's a really tight window, but take a look how each of these tires did stop a little bit differently. 5th place was the Kenda Bearclaw HTR, which stopped in 2.49 seconds. In 4th place, we had the TG, or Tire Guider, Night Tire, which stopped in 2.46 seconds. In 3rd place, we had the Kenda Mastodon AT, which stopped in 2.41 seconds. In 2nd place, we had the Sedona Mud Rebel RT, which stopped in 2.31 seconds. And in 1st place for downhill braking, we have the Ocelot P375, coming in at just 2.15 seconds. Now, let's jump right into top speed braking, where we're gonna see another set of winners. Now, if you depend on your UTV or ATV to stop as quickly as possible, this test is gonna be extremely interesting to you. Some of these tires took over 8 seconds to come to a complete stop. The least performing tire here stopped in 8.1 seconds. A really, really long time as compared to our winner that stopped in just over 2 seconds. That tire that stopped in just over 2 seconds only took about 10 feet to stop, and the least performing tire stopped at about 55 feet. That variance is absolutely huge and could be the matter of getting yourself stopped in time or running into a not so good situation. For the results of this test, we're going to show you the tires that stopped completely in less than 3 seconds. That's going to give us 4 contenders. Let's take a look. The Kenda Bearclaw HTR slid for 2.4 seconds. 3rd place was the Ams Slingshot Xt, which was also our overall winner, slid for 2.3 seconds. The ITP Blackwater Evolution, which would have been my favorite while unloading out of the truck, slid for just 2.2 seconds. The number 1 performing tire for the top speed braking challenge was the same tire that performed number 1 in the downhill braking challenge. This is the Ocelot P375. Take a look. Now moving on to the mud pit challenge. We had to find a large mud pit here in the Southern California desert, and that proved to be extremely difficult, so we made our own. At the end of about a week and a half of work, we were able to put together a 100-foot section of mud that was about 2 feet deep and really put these tires to the test. Now originally we tried to run these tires in 4-wheel drive, but they all just breezed right through. So we threw the quad into 2-wheel drive and we came up with some pretty interesting results. There was only one tire that didn't make it through this challenge, and that was the Kenda Bearclaw. Take a look. Now let's take a look at the Sedona Coyote tire. This shows a tire that actually did make it through the mud pit, but it struggled a little bit. It took almost 20 seconds to do what other tires could do in just 11 seconds. Now that we've seen what not so good mud runs look like, let's show you the top performing tires. In the top performing tires for the mud challenge, we have 4 tires that were able to perform this task in less than 13 seconds. The Ams Swamp Fox took 4th place and was able to traverse through the mud pit in 12.8 seconds. The Sedona Mud Rebel RT came in 3rd place and traversed through the mud at 12.7 seconds. For 2nd place, we have the Ocelot P375, taking the run in 12.4 seconds. And the number 1 tire for the mud pit traction test was the number 1 overall tire. That was that Ams Slingshot Xt. It traversed through the mud in just 11.6 seconds. And there you have it. That wraps up our 3-part series of the 25-inch ATV tire test for 2018. Here we've shown you 5 different tests and how various tires perform either best overall or really well for a specific challenge or task. Please stay tuned where we're going to take each of these 21 tires and show you the full run of each of the 5 tests. I'm Kyle Bradshaw from Chaparral Motorsports. I hope that this has opened your eyes into which tires do best in which situations. If you've liked this series of videos, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to see more of these come into your email inbox, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be there every single time we release a video. I'm Kyle Bradshaw from Chaparral Motorsports. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your support, and until next time, take care and ride safe.